Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. The Young and the Restless Thursday, August 22 spoilers. Sally makes Adam sweat, Jack and Diane turn to Claire for help. The Young and the Restless, Y&R, spoilers for Thursday, August 22 tease that Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, is back in Chelsea Lawson's, Melissa Claire Egan, face, demanding that she tell him the truth about that dark and stormy night in Baltimore. By the time the week is done, Chelsea has had enough of the lying and is in the mood for getting rid of her guilt over sleeping with her ex Adam Newman, Mark Grossman. But does this mean that Chelsea tells the truth, or does she simply double down on her deception, perhaps adding another layer to the conceit cake? Billy deserves better than to be strung along, and he knows the truth in his bones. Will he simply walk away at this point? The Young and the Restless spoilers, Chatham's deception falling apart. Meanwhile, Sally Spectra, Courtney Hope, takes her cue from Billy and grills Adam. Sally has heard Billy's theories that something other than Adam yelling at Chelsea went on during the night in question. Sally has reached a point where the velvet gloves come off, and she asks Adam if he slept with Chelsea in Baltimore. Think of all the angst she could have circumvented by asking the million-dollar question days ago. I&R spoilers. Chelsea asks a hard question of Adam. How will Adam respond to the point-blank question? There are two answers, yes and no, and one is a lie. Sadly for Sally, Adam is a consummate liar. Sally and Billy have been very considerate of Chatham spending time together to help their son Connor Newman, Judah Mackey. They have understandably allowed their relationships to become Chatham's second priority, and this could be their undoing. No good deed goes unpunished. Explosive Y&R spoilers reveal that Adam digs his heels in deeper instead of doing the right thing. Elsewhere, Diane Jenkins Abbott, Susan Walters, ruse the day she fired her insubordinate son Kyle Abbott, Michael Mueller. The snarky son retaliated by joining forces with Victor Newman, Eric Braden, in a bid to take down his family company Jabot. Diane and Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman, are now desperate to save Kyle from the dark side. So they go to the dark side by trying to recruit Claire Grace, Haley Aaron, as an emissary. What could go wrong? Sally Spectra stood in the dimly lit crimson lights, nursing a lukewarm coffee. The usual hustle and bustle of Genoa City's favorite coffee spot buzzed around her, but she was too lost in thought to notice. Her mind was a whirlwind of emotions, and at the center of it all was Adam Newman. She had been through the ringer with him more times than she cared to count, yet here she was, once again tangled in the web of his complicated life. The door chimed as it opened, and Adam walked in, his sharp gaze scanning the room until it landed on her. He approached with that familiar swagger, a mixture of confidence and uncertainty that always kept Sally on her toes. As he reached her table, Sally felt a flicker of satisfaction at the sight of him, tense, on edge and clearly anxious about what she might say or do next. "Mind if I join you?" Adam asked, his voice smooth yet tinged with unease. Sally looked up, her green eyes locking with his icy blue ones. "Depends," she replied coolly. "Are you here to give me more half-truths, or are you finally ready to be honest?" Adam exhaled slowly, taking the seat across from her. "I know I've messed up," he began, his tone sincere. "But I'm trying to make things right, Sally." Sally leaned back in her chair, crossing her arms as she studied him. She had heard this song and dance before, but something in Adam's demeanor suggested he was genuinely worried this time, and that gave her the upper hand. "You want to make things right?" Sally asked, arching an eyebrow. "Then start by telling me what you really want, Adam. No games, no manipulation, just the truth." Adam hesitated, his jaw clenching as he weighed his words. "I want us to be together," he finally admitted. "But I know I've hurt you, and I wouldn't blame you if you walked away." Sally's heart skipped a beat at his confession, but she wasn't about to let him off the hook that easily. "You have hurt me," she agreed, her voice steady. "But the question is, what are you willing to do to fix it? Because I won't settle for anything less than full commitment." Adam's eyes darkened with determination. "I'm willing to do whatever it takes," he said firmly. "I can't lose you, Sally." She could see the sincerity in his eyes, but she also knew that Adam's promises often came with strings attached. Sally leaned forward, narrowing the distance between them. "Then prove it," she challenged. "No more secrets, no more lies. If you really want me, you'll have to earn back my trust, step by step. Adam nodded, his expression resolute. I'll prove it to you, he vowed. Just give me a chance. Sally allowed herself a small smile, the first sign of thawing the ice that had built up between them. We'll see, Adam, she said softly. We'll see. Meanwhile, across town at the Abbott mansion, Jack and Diane Abbott were in the midst of a crisis. Their son, Kyle, had been spiraling out of control ever since his marriage to Summer hit the rocks. The once stable young man had become a shadow of his former self, and Jack was at his wits' end trying to figure out how to help him. He's barely speaking to me, Jack admitted, pacing the length of the living room. Every time I try to reach out, he shuts me down. Diane watched her husband with a worried frown. Kyle's hurting, Jack. He's lost and confused, and he doesn't know how to cope with everything that's happened. Jack stopped pacing and turned to face her, his expression desperate. What do we do, Diane? How do we get through to him? Diane took a deep breath, considering their options. Maybe we need an outside perspective, she suggested. Someone who can talk to Kyle without the baggage that comes with being his parents. Jack raised an eyebrow. Who do you have in mind? Claire, Diane said after a moment's hesitation. She's been working with Harrison for a while now, and Kyle seems to respect her. Maybe she can reach him in a way we can't. Jack nodded slowly, mulling over the idea. It's worth a try, he agreed. I'll give her a call and see if she's willing to help. A short while later, Claire arrived at the Abbott mansion. She was a calm, steady presence, and Jack immediately felt a sense of relief as he welcomed her inside. Thank you for coming on such short notice, Jack said, shaking her hand. Of course, Claire replied with a reassuring smile. I'm happy to help in any way I can. Jack and Diane led Claire into the living room, where they filled her in on Kyle's recent behavior. As they spoke, Claire listened intently, her expression thoughtful. It sounds like Kyle is dealing with a lot of unresolved emotions, Claire observed once they had finished. He's been through a lot of changes in a short period of time, and it's clearly taken a toll on him. Do you think you can help him? Diane asked, her voice tinged with hope. I can certainly try, Claire replied. But it will take time and patience. Kyle needs to feel like he's in a safe space where he can open up without judgment. Jack nodded, his shoulders sagging with exhaustion. Whatever it takes, he said quietly. We just want our son back. Claire gave him a sympathetic smile. I'll do my best, she promised. But remember, healing is a process. Kyle will need your support every step of the way. As Claire prepared to leave, Jack walked her to the door. Thank you again, he said earnestly. We really appreciate this. You're welcome, Claire replied. I'll be in touch once I've had a chance to speak with Kyle. After Claire left, Jack returned to the living room, where Diane was waiting. Do you think this will work? She asked, her voice laced with uncertainty. Jack sighed, rubbing the back of his neck. I don't know, he admitted. But at this point, we have to try something. Kyle needs help, and if Claire can reach him, it's worth the effort. Diane nodded, her expression determined. We'll get through this, Jack, she said firmly. We just have to keep believing that things will get better. Jack pulled her into a tight embrace, holding on to the hope that somehow they would find a way to bring their family back together.